Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 2021 Westchester Women's Summit Award Dinner. You're listening to Westchester Talk Radio live from the Sonesta Hotel in White Plains, New York. I'm Bob Marone, along with Michael Blakey. We're produced by Shaw Creative this evening and made possible by the Event Department, Key Bank, the Wartburg, Hispanic 100 Women, News 12 Westchester, and United Hebrew of New Rochelle, and also the YWCA of White Plains and Central Westchester. And this next pair of individuals, they are with an organization called Girls Incorporated, inspiring all girls to be strong, smart, and bold. I need to give my daughter this business card. With me is the board chair, Fiona Bruder of Girls Inc., and Dr. Sharlise Smith Rodriguez, she who is an executive director there, but also runs a home full of men where she rules supreme. We'll start with the board chair first. Welcome to Westchester Talk Radio.
Thank you so much. So happy to be here.
That's an interesting name you gave it, Girls Incorporated, and you're the ED, but we'll get to you. Tell me a little bit more about that board chair.
Sure. So Girls Inc. is actually a national organization. We are leading Girls Inc. Westchester, which is the affiliate here in Westchester County. And it was founded 15 years ago by Sally Baker, our founder. She had been part of the Girls Inc. New York City organization. And when she moved up to Westchester, she wanted to do a little bit of research to see if the gap that they had seen in Westchester was in New York City was the same in Westchester, which girls needed safe spaces, girls only. And we became founded 15 years ago and have been growing and supporting girls in this community ever since.
Have you been with them ever since?
No, I actually was introduced to Girls Inc. Westchester probably about 6 or 7 years ago. One of my clients was an honoree at one of the galas, and I was so touched and so inspired by the organization, the girls, and the impact that I saw they were able to make, that I got involved and started volunteering, and then several years later joined the board.
Now, there were clients of yours. What did you do?
So I run a global event marketing agency, and one of my IBM clients was an honoree, and we bought a table just to support and sponsor her, and she had some opportunities to meet with the girls as part of the honoree package, and she was so humbled and touched about how a program can create a safe space. And the program that we have at Girls Inc. Westchester is research-based to create, as you said, strong, smart, and bold girls. And there's curriculum that aligns to that. And it's really impactful. And that community, creating that safe environment for girls to connect and to become their whole selves and feel inspired to do that. So something I'm passionate about as a mom and as a woman. And I feel like we have to find these platforms for young girls, more so now than ever.
That's terrific. And now we go to the boss. Always interesting. You get the board, make the board happy. It makes the executive director's job a little easier. We go now to Dr. Smith Rodriguez. Doctor, speaking of strong, bright, and bold, after you talk to us about the way you rule your family, we are sure that that's the case. Anyway, Doctor, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having us tonight. I just want you to know this is actually my third week being the executive director.
Oh, you're brand new.
Did
you recruit her? Was that your job?
Absolutely, I did.
Okay, well, this is good. All right, so your third week. Now, we asked you before your background's in education. How does that fit what you're doing, and what are your objectives in this job?
Oh, so how it fits is that because we are working with the girls to be smart, strong, and bold, we want them to achieve academically. We want them to be able to have the life skills that they need in order to succeed in life, if that's time management, if that's financial literacy. So as Fiona mentioned earlier, we have a research-based curriculum that will help these young women to form those different skills that they need, even healthy relationships. How do they advocate for themselves, or how do they advocate for others in their community, or just being in the classroom and making sure whatever resources they need that they're able to ask the teachers or the administration.
You know, you mentioned about 8 things that used to worry me when I was bringing up my daughter. No, they're important, like even how to respond to relationship, not to feel that you're subordinate, going back to the older days and olden times, that you can do what you want to do, and it's a negotiation, a friendship, a partnership. Wow, now you mentioned it's Girls Inc., and we talked about girls. And sometimes people hear the word girls, and it's some women don't like that. Call them a woman, but are these young people? Are they old? What are their ages, and what do we do for them?
We work with young women from the ages of 9 to 18.
That's great.
Yeah, and we go into the classrooms. Well, I should say after school programs. As Fiona mentioned, we work with the schools in Westchester County where there are communities that are disadvantaged or economically disadvantaged that may not have the resources as other cities or towns. So we go into after school programs and we, again, use our research-based curriculum to really, as I mentioned, identify those different skills, and we do different activities. So if it's vision boards for them to figure out where am I at now and where do I want to be if it's in 2 years or 5 years. Also, another part of our program is STEM. So those students that may be interested in science or math but really not sure, there's different activities that we do with these young women, young ladies, to really help them to figure out, is this something of interest? So like scratch the surface so then they can definitely become more engaged and involved.
Doctor, I know you're only in the job 3 weeks, but you're not used to being called that? It says right here, doctor, on the business card. I had it. Anyway, somebody took it. All right. What keeps you, and you also, chairperson, what keeps you up nights? What do you worry most about? Because I know I'm getting butterflies, and I'll tell you why in a moment.
I want to make sure, since I'm new, that I am really doing right for this organization, doing right for the girls. That's really my belief. As when I grew up, I had some women that influenced me, but it took time, as we had, heard this evening and with some of the speeches. It takes time to really say, oh yes, my mother was right or my grandmother was right. And I want to make sure that we are doing right by these young women and making sure that we give them the opportunities and let them be able to realize this is something that I can do. And look at her, like me. Okay. I grew up in the Bronx. I didn't know what I was going to do, but look at me now. As you keep mentioning, I'm a doctor. I have moved up the ranks in the different positions that I've held in my previous institution. And I just want to make sure, again, that I'm doing right by the organization and the young women that we are serving.
Well, why I have butterflies. I have a granddaughter now, too, and I raised a daughter. And this is for you, Fiona, but both of you can feed in. I worry as a parent, and I worry for girls extent, about how they view their place in the world. I'm talking about what they do on Twitter, what they do on Facebook, how they're more concerned sometimes. I want to use the term wrong-headed, but I don't mean that literally. I don't know how to interpret it. But the word that they have to look good and that they have to be famous and they have to have their face splashed all over and that they have to be sexy. And this must be the challenge of a lifetime these days with social media.
Look, as a parent myself and with 3 teenage children, social media, there's some good things about it, and there's a lot that is really, really scary.
Want some vodka? We have it.
Exactly, I need a cocktail. But the thing I think for us with these programs is we are creating girls that are empowered and become advocates for themselves, right? And they feel so empowered to doing that. The best example, and it was what has triggered me to be committed to this program for life, at one of our galas, we had trained the girls to write their narrative arc, their personal stories. And we had 3 of the girls come talk. And we actually trained them in the TED Talk model, right? Which is a very engaging, compassionate way to tell your story. And one of the girls finished her speech about her learning disability, which she was very open about, and the challenges she had in being bullied and made fun of. And at the end of that speech, and she was terrified about talking in front of 400, what in her mind were adults, right, at a gala, she got a standing ovation.
Oh, wonderful.
And in between my ugly crying, when she came off the stage, I remember I said to her, whenever you doubt yourself, you remember this moment, because those people, you touched them in such a way that they stood up and applauded for you for a good 5 minutes. And that's the thing that people have to experience, right? That connectivity with people, and that's what this program does. So for me, when you were talking about what keeps me up at night, not getting to all the girls in Westchester that need this support. That, for me, is our mission, to make sure we can create this connectivity from elementary to middle to high school and prepare them for that transition into college or wherever they choose to go.
I don't know how. I just don't know how your head's going to get through this. It's so scary to me, and it's a challenge you both have. Let's talk about the scope before we let you go, the scope of what you do. How many children are involved, and what is your relationship with the schools or your programs?
Sure. So our goal is to serve right now 367 young women, but obviously, like Fiona just mentioned, we want to serve more girls. And we are, like I said, in Westchester County. So we are in Bedford Hills, we are in Yonkers, we're in Ossining, Mount Vernon, New Rochelle. So those are the different communities that we currently serve, but obviously we want to serve other communities in Westchester County.
Anything else? Doctor, where are you off? She can't handle this. Okay, hey, yo, you. How's that? I'll do it the Brooklyn. Hey, yo. Doctor,
She's very humble.
where are your offices at?
Our office is in White Plains. Oh, no, I should say North White Plains.
Okay. Well, it's okay. You just started. We'll let you off the hook. You. Now, Fiona, chairperson, where do you want to take this organization? Where do you feel you're headed?
Like I said, I think we want to make sure that we can reach all girls within Westchester. We are targeting certain schools where we feel there's significant need that comes with the support of the community and the school and the board and the administration, which is really important so that we have a safe environment to conduct these meetings. But we want to go broader. We had a great opportunity in the last year and a half, although the physical part of connecting is more important, but the virtual enabled us to offer more programs. So what we're doing right now is we're starting to expand so that we'll have some virtual programs. So if people want to come in after school or on the weekend to a certain program, they can come into that sort of thing versus these deep dedicated programs we have at the schools. And we're looking to continue to grow that. But we're also a non-for-profit, right? Our reach happens as we continue to grow and with additional funding. So that's our big priority.
Do you know, I'm going to be honest as I say goodnight to you. I was not aware of this organization. In fact, when I looked at it, I have an evil part of my mind that said, But I am so glad you exist. This is great. We need, the word needs to be spread about what you do for girls because it's so hard out there. It really is. I want to thank you, Dr. Rodriguez, Chairperson Fiona, I got to pronounce Bruder. Thank you so much, both of you. Thank you for being on radio, or rather Westchester Talk Radio. Bad habits die hard. Thank you so very much.